Welcome, sirens of the soul, to Whispers of Darkness. I'm your harbinger from the depths, luring you into the abyssal unknown where true stories drown in terror, urban legends echo like fatal songs, and the paranormal pulls you under. Tonight, we heed the call of the sea's most seductive horrors, the sirens, those enchanting abominations that blend beauty with brutality, promising ecstasy but delivering a gory demise. If you're surfacing here for the first time, dive in by subscribing and join our coven of the cursed. We plunge into ghost lore, urban myths, and real encounters that will drag your sanity to the bottom. And in these treacherous waters, remember, one wrong note and you're lost forever, body and soul. Hold your breath, because this isn't child's play folklore. It's anchored in ancient myths, modern sightings, and blood-soaked tales that surface from the waves. We'll unravel their origins, their lethal allure, and recount gut-wrenching true stories that might make you fear the ocean's whisper. Let's answer the call before it claims you. The ancient origins of the siren. To fathom the siren's terror, we must sail back to the cradle of Western mythology, ancient Greece, where the Mediterranean's azure waters hid horrors beyond imagination. In Homer's Odyssey, circa 8th century BCE, sirens appear as deadly enchantresses, half bird, half woman, perched on rocky isles, their songs weaving spells that lured sailors to crash upon the shores, dooming them to starvation or drowning amid splintered hulls and foaming blood. These weren't benevolent beauties. They were vengeful daughters of the river god Achelous or the sea god Phorcys, cursed by Demeter after failing to protect Persephone from Hades. Their names, Pisino, Aglaope, Thelxiopeia, evoke persuasion, glorious voice, and charming speech, but their true nature was carnage. Odysseus, on the advice of the sorceress Circe, survived by tying himself to his mast, his crew placing beeswax in their ears, forced to endure their taunts while his men rowed past. Over centuries, sirens morphed. Roman poets like Ovid blended them with mermaids from Assyrian lore, where the goddess Atargatis transformed into a fish-tailed being out of shame. By the Middle Ages, bestiaries depicted them as fish women, symbols of lust and deception in Christian allegory tempting souls to damnation, their scales hiding demonic intent. Globally, parallels abound. In Slavic folklore, the Rusalka water nymphs drown men with tickling embraces, their laughter masking screams. African traditions speak of mamiwata, serpentine water spirits who grant wealth but demand sacrifices, often dragging lovers to watery graves. The Inuits' Kalupalik, a hag-like mermaid with scaly skin and webbed claws, hums to lure disobedient children, bundling them in her amautic to feast on their youthful energy or devour them whole in icy caves. In Hawaiian legends, dragon-like water guardians manifest as seductive women who drag victims into depths, tearing flesh with razor teeth amid coral-laced blood clouds. Philippine folklore warns of the Serena, fish-tailed temptresses who capsize boats, their songs promising paradise but delivering dismemberment. Columbus, in 1493, mistook manatees for mermaids off Haiti, but locals whisper of La Sirène, a vaudou loa who lures with conch calls, granting beauty but cursing with madness. Even today, in 2025, divers report eerie songs in the Mariana Trench, attributing vanishings to these eternal predators. The siren embodies humanity's fear of the unknown depths, more than 80% of the Earth's oceans, unexplored and teeming with secrets. As one Greek proverb warns, the siren's song is sweetest to those who never return. That pull you feel, it's just the beginning. Now let's expose the powers that make sirens the ocean's most gruesome reapers. The siren's horror isn't mere appearance, it's an arsenal of supernatural seduction and savagery, turning desire into despair, beauty into bloodbath. Visually, they're paradoxes. Upper bodies of ethereal women with flowing hair, porcelain skin, eyes like storm-tossed sapphires, merging into iridescent tails, armored in scales sharper than knives. But beneath the allure, jaws unhinging to reveal shark-like teeth, claws for tearing flesh, gills exhaling bubbles laced with hallucinogens. Their signature power, the song, not melody, but psychic siren calls infiltrating minds, mimicking loved ones' voices or deepest desires. It induces euphoria, then compulsion, sailors leaping overboard, flesh shredding on rocks, bones crunching under waves. Victims drown in ecstasy, lungs filling with salt water as visions fade. Shape-shifting amplifies the menace. Sirens assume forms of drowned kin, luring with familiar faces before reverting tails coiling to crush ribs, dragging prey down where pressure pops eardrums. They command the sea, summoning storms to smash ships, whirlpools to suck in the screaming. Legends claim they devour hearts for immortality, leaving carcasses bloated and nibbled by fish. Psychologically, they're torturers. Songs implant madness, hallucinations of feasts turning to cannibalism, lovers morphing into monsters. Survivors rave of urges to carve scales into their own skin. Signs of presence, unnatural calm before storms, floating debris with bite marks, that irresistible hum vibrating bones. They're blamed for shipwrecks, missing swimmers, even mass beachings where whales' bellies burst with human remains. In modern lore, they're linked to sonar anomalies, deep-sea recordings of songs causing migraines in submariners. The siren doesn't just kill, she consumes your will, leaving a hollowed corpse adrift in crimson foam. Feel that tug at your soul? The siren savors your fear, and she's hungry for more. No siren saga is complete without infamous locales where their curses stain the seas red. These aren't myths, they're sites of real wrecks and whispers that echo through history. Among them, the Siren Isles of Greek lore, identified as the Lee Galli archipelago off Italy's Amalfi coast. Rocky outcrops where Odysseus faced them, now haunted by divers reporting spectral songs and skeletal remains in underwater caves, flesh-stripped bones bearing tooth marks. Columbus's 1493 sighting off Hispaniola birthed Caribbean legends of La Sirene, where Haitian shores see annual disappearances, swimmers vanishing in calm waters, bodies washing up eviscerated, organs missing as if surgically excised by claws. The Fiji mermaid hoax of 1842, a mummified monkeyfish by P.T. Barnum, masked darker truths. Barnum drew from Japanese Ningyo legends, horned, scaled horrors whose flesh grants longevity but curses eaters with deformity. World War II soldiers in Indonesia's Kai Islands encountered orang-ikan, pink-skinned, spike-headed merfolk with carp mouths, luring patrols into ambushes, leaving mangled corpses half-eaten. Alaska's icy coasts host the Kalupalik, lurking in cracks of sea ice. Inuit tales recount people vanishing during blizzards, humming drawing them to thin ice where webbed hands pull them under, screams muffled as they're bundled away to be drained of life essence. Hawaii's black sand beaches whisper of mo'o, shape-shifting sirens dragging surfers down, bodies resurfacing with gashes, entrails trailing like seaweed. Recent 2025 reports from Kauai detail drone footage of humanoid figures with tails circling boats, followed by unexplained capsizings. Even urban areas aren't safe. New York's Coney Island, with its mermaid parades, hides a grim underbelly, night swimmers hearing calls, emerging with slash wounds or never at all, blamed on currents but whispered as siren vengeance. These sites prove sirens aren't extinct folklore. They're evolving predators, their haunting harmonies blending with modern noise to claim fresh victims. If these places call to you, resist, for the stories of those who didn't are a whisper in the darkness. The siren's true dread surfaces in personal accounts, raw testimonies from survivors who escaped her grasp, scarred in body and mind. These aren't fabrications, they're drawn from global whispers, Reddit confessions, and cultural oral histories. First, from a 2019 Reddit post, I encountered sirens at sea last year. Off Goa's coast in India, on a rented yacht under moonlight, a man snacking on chips spotted figures circling the boat with long, dark hair, greyish-white faces, black, void eyes. They wailed a mesmerising chorus, mouths stretching unnaturally, compelling him to jump. Fighting the urge, he fled inside, heart pounding as the song promised oblivion. Morning revealed no traces, but his dreams still echo with their ghastly symphony. In Alaska's frozen wilds, the Kalupalik strikes. An Inuit elder recounts a childhood brush, playing near cracking ice. A hum lured him closer. A scaly hag emerged, bumpy green skin, finned head, clawed hands, grabbing his ankle, nails piercing flesh, blood freezing on snow. He screamed, parents pulling him back as the hag vanished under ice, leaving gashes that scarred into webbed patterns. Legends say she devours children, sucking their youth. In Scotland's lochs, urban legend meets reality. A kayaker heard flutes, paddling to a mermaid on rocks, hair seaweed tangled, scales dripping pus. Her song promised warmth. Instead, she lunged, biting into his leg, tearing muscle in wet rips. He bashed her with an oar, escaping with a limp and nightmares of her rotting grin. These span oceans and eras, unified by lure, gore, and lingering madness. Truth? In the paranormal abyss, survival stories are the only proof, stained with blood. Evading the fatal melody, confronted by such aquatic atrocities, how do you survive? Ancient wisdom and modern law offer lifelines, but invoke them wrongly, and you'll summon the storm. Avoid solitary swims at dusk or dawn, when songs carry farthest. Plug your ears with wax like Odysseus, or wear noise-cancelling tech tuned to disrupt frequencies. Divers use ultrasonic repellents mimicking predator calls. Sacred wards. Iron repels in Celtic lore. You can carry a knife to slash illusions. Conch shells blown counter their hum in Vodou rituals. Inuit amulets of seal bone etched with protective runes fend Kalupalik. If ensnared, resist the song by focusing on pain. Bite your tongue till blood flows, breaking trance. Strike vital spots' eyes, gills with silver or blessed weapons, as folklore claims they sear siren flesh. Respect cultures. Sirens are sacred in many traditions. Mock them and invite wrath. As Haitians warn, answer La Sirens' calls wrongly, and storms rage, bloated bodies washing ashore. In 2025's tech era, apps detect anomalous sounds, but remember, no gadget outsmarts ancient hunger. As our voyage through siren shadows concludes, remember, the ocean sings, but its tune devours. These seductive slaughterers aren't vanished myths, they're warnings of temptation's bloody price, lurking where waves meet flesh. If this submerged your spirit in terror, like and comment your sea scares. Have you ever heard an unexplained call from the water? Subscribe for more true horrors, legends, and paranormal plunges on Whispers of Darkness. Till then, stay ashore, ignore the whispers, and watch the horizon, for the siren awaits her next verse.